Hey everybody, welcome to my magisterial live stream for modernists. I realize there's probably nobody actually listening yet, but those of you who watch the VOD of this later will totally get that joke. Actually, no, most of you won't, and the very few of you who do, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you were exposed to what was necessary for you to get that joke. But hopefully that joke makes up just a little bit for the fact that you had to be exposed to it.
It was on Earth that I truly learned what it was to become a hero.
Marvel Rivals Twitch streams, of course, are the place where all the cool kids hang out on a Friday night.
Stay strong.
So, not sure I'm going to get a ton of people this evening. Those of you to the west of me may still be at an Akatha service or some other Lenten service, in which case, I hope that all goes well. That is helpful to you.
The battle starts in 5.
But,
4, 3, 2, 1.
yeah, for the 5th week of Lent,
You have to stop them from securing
tonight was a relatively early night, so I thought I would stream a little. I wasn't going to last night, even though I have on Thursdays in the past, because, you know, life of St. Mary of Egypt. Long service. I was not home in a timely fashion to do that, so.
The lightning of Asgard returns.
But, those of you who do show up on this one on a Friday night, because again, you are the cool kids, and this is where the cool kids hang out on Friday nights. Feel free to ask questions or what have you in the chat. Or just listen to my vague narration of these games. See how they go. Yes, Akka, this went well. Why don't you stream Elden Ring? You're the one who platinum trophied it, not me. Yeah, Akka, this all went well. This was, I mean, for 5th week of Lent, this was the easy service. But yes. And in terms of Toll House knowledge, everything I have to say about Toll Houses, I said in a blog post a few years ago.
This is real firepower!
Well, hey, I have the PlayStation set up now to stream, so I can show you. Just push a button, and you can start your Elden Ring channel.
Born again! Armed and dangerous!
Behold the god of thunder!
I really feel like Thor's ultimate should have a little... feel like it's hitting a little harder, but... you can get kills with it situationally, but it's pretty easy to heal through for an ultimate. The,
without Thor?
So, from what I've gleaned from the patch notes for Season 2, which starts end of next week, Thor is getting a little bit of a buff, in the sense that they're increasing his movement rate. The one thing about him is that he feels like he moves kind of slow. For any of you who have played Thor, he kind of feels like he's walking through mud all the time. But they're fixing that. They're upping his movement rate, so he's going to move at the same rate as... not like super fast like Captain America or something, but it's like Adam Warlock or your other sort of normal human speed characters. So that'll be nice. in terms of, I wouldn't say I was secretive about my favorite Catholic apologist. I was more elusive, or.
What battle can continue without Thor?
But anyway, no, my favorite Catholic apologist, possibly my favorite living Roman Catholic,
Only 60 seconds.
is this guy named Ferris on a YouTube channel called How to Be Christian, who does apologetics videos. It's mostly like Catholic versus Protestant stuff, but or as he puts it, Catholic, Christian v Protestant, just because, you know, he stirred the pot. But yeah, well, no, the reason he is number one, he's funny, but number two, in addition to being actually funny, I mean, like, Trent Horn is just not funny. Jimmy Akin is not funny. Matt Fradd, not funny. These guys may educate, but they don't entertain, right? And so,
The final 10 seconds.
Behold the god of
but beyond that, basically what he does is he just makes, like, an airtight biblical argument for whatever point he's trying to make.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have
And then sort of challenge Protestants to respond to it. Since they're sola scriptura, right? And he's just quoting the Bible
victory.
and walking through it, they should do that. And it's amazing how many people dodge him. Like, people like James White and stuff just dodge him and will not respond to his stuff. Or when they do respond, they're just like, oh, he's Catholic, he believes in tradition, blah, 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 even though he didn't, you know, argue from that or say anything about that in his video, you know. So, anyway, yeah, that's why, books on Orthodox atonement theology. I have a pretty decent sized section of that.
I'm not judging.
In Religion of the Apostles. So there's that. I also I'm thinking about, here we go, I'll workshop this in front of the 8 of you. I'm thinking about maybe for book 7, because my 6th book is already done and turned in, but I'm thinking about for book 7 maybe like reworking some of the material in my dissertation and into a book that someone might want to read, and basically doing a book on the Orthodox view of atonement, since there seems to be a lot of confusion and issues with that among certain sectors and certain people. So let me know if you think that's a good idea. So yeah, I think that may be that may be book 7. That may be what comes next. So you guys approve of it. In terms of modern horror movies, I'm a big fan of Ari Aster. Well, you can get the dissertation. My dissertation's available on ProQuest and stuff. It's out there on the internet. You can get it. So I'm a big fan of Ari Aster. So Hereditary is the most realistic portrayal of, like, demonic possession and occult activity that I think has ever been made. And I think the same thing is true of Midsommar. I think Midsommar is the most accurate portrayal of paganism that has ever been sort of released in movie form. So, yeah. I also liked Beau is Afraid, even though that's less well known and less watched, maybe, than the others. I also really like Robert Eggers stuff. So, like, The Witch, or The Vavitch, which revealed to us that the most frightening thing in the world is actually Calvinism, especially Puritan Calvinism. Lighthouse isn't really a horror movie, but I really like the remake of Nosferatu. The whole theme of the remake of Nosferatu is totally like a Lord of Spirits meme, if you really think about it. Like, the whole theme is that, like, you have, like, the modern German thing, right, represented by Willem Dafoe, who's basically playing Hegel, right? And this modern German town, right, they've got all this science, right? In fact, everything has become Wissenschaft. Everything is a science. And so they have all this knowledge and wisdom, but because of that, they're, like, totally unprepared to deal with, you know, this undead spirit possessing a corpse, basically, that is Count Orlok, right? So, whereas when they're in Romania and they go to the monastery, right, and you see the abbess, right, the Stavropol nun who's like an abbess there, they know how to deal with it. Like, they're doing an exorcism on the guy. They know how to handle this situation with this vampire. And the vampire is actually eager to go to the modern German city because he knows they don't know how to deal with it. Right? He knows he'll just be able to run free because they've sacrificed a kind of ancient spiritual wisdom in order to get the scientific knowledge they have. Not that there's a problem with scientific knowledge, but it's that they've sacrificed one for the other.
The God of Thunder!
So it hasn't really been additive, right? Yeah, so those are good. I love, I don't know if it came out last year or the year before, but I loved Late Night with the Devil. That was a great modern horror movie. Plus, like, this spot-on recreation of 1970s television. I mean, I'm an old man, so many of you that may not mean anything to, but, yeah, so that was really good. I think of other modern horror movies. I mean, those are probably the big ones. There was modern horror movies that I've liked.
I was exiled from Asgard as a youth. Now I would.
Oh, The Northman's really good.
To save it.
The Northman's. I mean, it's Viking Hamlet, but it's good.
30 seconds before you.
So, are you asking if I saw the TV show on Netflix, Glow? About Glow? Or did I see the actual Glow as a kid? The answer is yes to both of those. I didn't watch much of actual Glow when I was a kid. There was, you know, teenage guy.
The battle starts in 5.
You want to see chicks, man, but like the wrestling on there was pretty bad.
Capture the mission area.
And so, yeah. And I was watching, like, WWF at the time. And that was really kind of a golden age. This is before the Attitude Era. This was the era of, like, WrestleMania 5, Macho Man versus Hogan, right, for the title. After the superpowers exploded. The heyday of, like, Piper and Jake the Snake, right? It was just a great era. Bret the Hitman Hart, Kurt Hennig. So there was really great wrestling on at the time on, like, WWE. And so, you know, even though you're sort of like as an adolescent, yeah. That's, yeah, your adolescent boy wants to see women, but yeah, it wasn't that good. The Netflix show was fine for the first couple seasons, and then kind of got eh.
What am I?
I think it was actually Ivory. Was it? Who was from Glow? Victoria maybe too, but I think Ivory was also. If I remember right. I could be wrong. But that was an era of women's wrestling. I mean, the Attitude era was a great era for wrestling television, but not a great era for women's wrestling, frankly, on the whole. A lot of, like... I still remember at one point, I was in Protestant Seminary at the time, and we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, because they showed the pay-per-views there. And we were watching this pay-per-view, and they had, like, a lingerie match. And we're kind of sitting there, and one of my friends said to me, I feel like we should be watching this at home, if at all. So, it was not great for women's wrestling. Women's wrestling has gotten a lot better in that regard. In terms of being actual wrestling and being on par with men's wrestling.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Save myself, haha!
Control lost.
We are too when I awaken.
Yeah. Looking forward to WrestleMania, even though it's on Pascha this year, which is going to make it hard to watch. Just logistically. Second night will be okay. But I'm gonna not be able to watch the first night, especially not the main event of the first night, which is the one I really want to see with CM Punk and Roman Reigns and
Watch me smash the grand finale.
yeah, actually, that All Japan stuff was like a whole other different level of.
You'll have to keep fighting.
I mean, Japanese wrestling in general is a different animal, and at many stages has been better, but there's a lot of forgotten stuff in Japanese wrestling history. Like, there was a long period where Hulk Hogan was both WWE and New Japan champion. Right? Like, I'm amazed how many people don't know that. Like, and I was never a Hogan fan, so... This is, with me, Hogan isn't just a, oh, he's canceled now thing. I never liked that cat. Part of it was just, I was always a Randy Savage guy, right? But also just, Hogan was so, like, spoon-fed. He was the guy I was supposed to like. You know, he was supposed to be the good guy, and I always kind of rebelled against that for some reason as a kid.
Thor Odinson, God of Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, if you want spicy wrestling takes, I think trading a really golden era of New Japan for AEW was a bad trade. There we go, spicy take. Unless Jim Cornette's on the channel watching, then it's not so spicy a take. Although he probably wouldn't have liked New Japan of recent vintage either, but... Like, you compare Chris Jericho in New Japan, when he first went there from WWE, to Chris Jericho at AEW. Like... But even, like, Kenny Omega. And
this location seems
I mean...
dangerous.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
What they had going on with New Japan and ROH, I think, was actually a better situation.
That's something in common, I think.
It's not fashion sense.
We both know what it's like to be consumed by the same thing that makes us different. Gives us power. I don't always know what to do with that.
Me neither. You get used to it.
Yeah, where he was doing the whole I'm gonna get fat and cosplay Clockwork Orange. Yeah, that era Chris Jericho.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
That robot. I cannot let Doom do any more damage to the web of life and destiny.
I mean, a lot of those guys, it's like Shinsuke Nakamura in WWE, working strong style, working that stiff all those years. They're just all beat up, you know. And so they're just looking for a place, whether it's AEW or WWE, where they can work and not, you know, do any more damage to their bodies. I think I just beat the unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Raise a toast in celebration. The Wrath of Asgard.
Oh yeah, Naito is in such bad shape. Like, it's rough. And see, that's sort of the thing. Like, everybody always wanted to pick on WWE, especially the guys at the top of WWE. You know, whoever's at the top, like Hulk Hogan. Everybody has said for a long time that Hulk Hogan couldn't wrestle. That's actually not true. If you go back and watch his matches when he was coming up, like his matches for Vern Gagne and stuff, like, he can wrestle. He's doing all kinds of moves. He can do holds. He can mat wrestle. It's just, or same thing with John Cena. John Cena would bust stuff out at house shows all the time. Like, even though they couldn't wrestle, it's just when you got to the top of WWE like that, you had to work so many days, you had to work so much, and you couldn't get injured, that they all just switched to working this really safe main event style to protect themselves and their health, right? And so that's not as exciting in matches, but you can't wrestle like they do in New Japan and have the kind of length of career without injury that a lot of those guys at the top of WWE have had. And you can look at those guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, like Naito, like even Kenny Omega to an extent, and you can see it. Like, it takes its toll on you working like that. Hulk Hogan has publicly said that if he had it all to do over again, he'd make his finishing move a sleeper hold or something and work even safer. Because he's had all kinds of back problems and stuff because of doing the leg drop. Right? Now it's messed up his spine.
Behold the God of Thunder! My power grows. What foul creature has Namor summoned now?
By the way, one of the changes they're making in the new patch is they're switching around some of the team-up abilities. So they're getting rid of Namor's team-up ability with Luna Snow. And they're giving him one with the Hulk where he can summon this big giant gamma squid. That's pretty awesome. Oh, we got some K-pop going. Oh.
My power grows.
I wish I could do what you do. Better look behind you.
I am barely wounded. My power grows.
I saw something about New Jack. I didn't see exactly what the statement was, but I have to say, like, the fact that they're putting New Jack in WWE 2K25 is amazing. Amazing. Hey, MVP, alright. Because, like, there's going to be all these parents whose kids are going to be playing New Jack in WWE 2K25. And they're going to ask him, hey, who's that wrestler you're playing? And they're going to say New Jack, and they're going to look up New Jack, like on the Google machine. And they're going to freak out. Because, like, it's New Jack. So, yeah, that's kind of amazing that they're putting him in the game this year. In terms of the emoji, this stream, I think, is going to make me a Twitch affiliate, which will mean I could do custom emojis for y'all, in addition to the Twitch drops you're already getting for Marvel Rivals. So there may be custom emoji coming soon.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
I am the God of Thunder and the mightiest Avenger.
No, saving the Morbid story. I appreciate the question. Appreciate it, but I'm saving it. Yeah, so I think when I become an affiliate, that also means they're going to run the occasional ad. But I think if you have Amazon Prime, like I don't want people giving me money per se. But if you have Amazon Prime, you have a free Twitch sub every month that you're probably not using. So you could use that if they start putting commercials in my stream. You could use that to get out of the commercials. I think without spending any money, like just for free, you can
The battle starts in 5.
Do the Prime subscription. So if they start running ads and you have Amazon Prime, please do that and avoid the ads.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
The lightning of Asgard returns.
Oh, there's some smiting going on. They're getting smoten, all right.
Lightning confinement.
Got one.
Problem is the rest of my group is, you know, been told that the payload is lava, I think.
God of thunder.
We are. Again! Oh, come on. You didn't get one more, Bucky? There we go. There it is. Yeah, so that question was long and therefore got cut off for me.
They've made it halfway! Stop them!
But, yeah, it's a book. Do not look for this. Because like I said, as you can imagine from that story, this is not something you actually want to have.
Behold the God of thunder!
But, it's a book called the 6th and 7th Books of Moses. And it is a legit occult, like, ritual text from medieval Germany. So do not look for that. Do not get that. The point of me telling you about that was, hey, stay away from stuff like this, right? Like, yeah. And that literally happened. I don't know if my wife remembers. I think she was in the car when we got home, but yes, a family member was cleaning out another family member's house after they died, and that other family member, that distant family member, was a high-ranking Mason, and they found this book and sort of didn't know what to do with it. So I said, burn it. They said, well, we're mailing it to you, and I'm like, you just burn it. I'm going to burn it, but they sent it to me. And we came home, and it was in our mailbox, and the piece of wood that holds the mailboxes had like warped,
Only 60 seconds left.
like while we were gone. So I mean, possibly coincidence, but creepy coincidence.
They hit a checkpoint.
You know?
Now might be a good time to stop them.
Yeah. See, my wife remembers that. Yeah, and I burned it. There are no video games that are cursed in that sense. There are cursed video games.
Better stop that vehicle.
Have you ever seen Nintendo 64 Superman? I don't think there are any cursed albums. Like, there's a lot of, you gotta understand, a lot of the satanic metal stuff is, like, performative. Right? Like, Slayer, even, and, like, Ghost now, it's, like, performative. It's like a stage show thing, like Alice Cooper back in the day. Like, it's not sincere. Right?
There's still a chance to stop them.
Like, there's a story from back in the day where King Diamond invited Slayer to come spend the night in Aleister Crowley's house, right? Like, in England. And, like, the members of Slayer fled Aleister Crowley's house in the middle of the night because they scared the crud out of them being there, right? like, they're not real Satanists. They're like, oh, wait a minute, like, stuff got real, we're out of here. Like, so most of that, you know, satanic records and stuff is just performance, right?
Charge, fire.
By the way, for the record, on the other side, I think most contemporary Christian music is also performative.
Us against the world.
Like, I don't know how sincere some of those folks are. We'll put it that way.
The lightning of Asgard returns.
Better stop that vehicle. It's now or never. Stop them. The perfect hex. Ah!
Twas but a scratch. Battle fury burns.
Favorite bands of all time. I mean, it depends on eras, right? Like, Tool is always the one that comes to mind first. Now, given, I'm not recommending any of these, mind you, as a priest. I'm just, you know, being honest. Well, yeah, I mean, everything William Shatner does is golden. But he's not a band.
Lightning of Asgard returns.
So, yeah, Tool, I mean, if you want to go back, old stuff, Black Sabbath, right? Like, here's another spicy take. I agree with CM Punk that the Beatles are super overrated. I think the Rolling Stones are better. My vigor returns. Okay. Yeah, I know. Spicy takes tonight. Spicy takes tonight on the stream. I am a big fan of, in terms of obscure stuff, I am a big fan of Soul Coughing, who recently got back together in sort of a get back together that no one thought would ever be possible.
The lightning of
Because Mike Doty, the lead singer, left and, like, hated the band so much that even though he wrote most of the songs, he refused to perform them. Like, And they managed to get back together. They released an anniversary vinyl of their first album, Ruby Broom. Big fan of Henry Rollins, as some of you probably figured out from the last Lord of Spirits episode, if you're paying attention and reading the tea leaves. I'm a huge... I actually bookended that episode with Rollins band references, or Henry Rollins references. I'm a huge fan of The Cure from way back. I'm a huge fan of The Killers from more recently. Big fan of REM when they existed. Those are the big ones that are coming to mind. For bands, right? So that's not including like rappers or solo artists or singers or any of that, just bands. Oh, I don't clear anything, man. I like... Okay, here's what people may not understand about Lord of the Spirits. Like, Father Andrew, like, scripts out some of his stuff. Like, I script out nothing. I like... So, like, here's the Lord of Spirits process. A couple days before the episode, the live episode, I make, like, some bullet point notes that are just keywords and riddles and phrases that mean nothing to anyone but me. I put those in a Google Doc. And
though I be a god, I would rather inspire mortals than be worshipped.
Get ready.
And then I go over it with Father Andrew and kind of try to explain to him what those notes mean in some, you know, cogent way. And then we just go live, and he like goes his portions off the script, and I just riff based on those notes. So no, they have no idea what I'm going to do or what I'm going to say. And yes, I'm absolutely that grad student. Yes. And so, yeah, they have no clue. Father Andrew doesn't get most of my references. No one in Ancient Faith gets most of my references. So, yeah, that's how Lord of Spirits episodes work. That's the process. Just gonna smash through this wall. Surprise, Frank! Yes, the secret to my entire life is a mixture of complete under-preparedness and complete overconfidence. That's the whole trick.
Slow down. Beacons on the fritz.
I don't think anyone gets all of my references. Different people get different portions of them.
I am Thor Odinson, god of thunder.
And a lot of them are layered in. Like, I make references to stuff. A lot of it's I'm amazed. So like, I made that Lockjaw reference a couple episodes ago, and a guy emailed us and remembered what that was. Actually knew what that was. I sent him a prize, as I promised I would, for recognizing it, because I was just amazed. I was amazed that like anyone got that. So. It's mainly to entertain myself, honestly. And sometimes I do themes, like if you go listen, the episode we did about the soul, that we entitled Who Stole the Soul, which is of course a Public Enemy song, that Father Andrew didn't realize until he'd already advertised it, and then he read the lyrics and got mad at me, but I didn't care. That whole episode I was just doing Public Enemy references, just over and over and over again.
Beware the Punisher turret.
Run the exploding plasma.
Behold the God of Thunder! Judge, jury, executioner!
I don't know what that Manus was thinking.
What battle can continue without Thor?
That's kind of a funny spectating moment. I saw last night, doing that spectating while I was rezzing, I saw the dumbest player I've ever seen in this game. So this guy's playing the Punisher. I know you're shocked that someone playing the Punisher might not be the sharpest peanut in the turd. But, this Punisher player, okay, overtime is counting down, right? Like, yellow bar thing is on the screen, okay? Counting down. Here comes Punisher. As it's counting down, he starts to set up his turret outside of the objective area. Like... literally useless, right? Like, like if he was giving up, why was he setting up his turret? And if he was trying to keep the game alive, why was he setting up his turret? It boggled the mind. I did not see that. In terms of the Gavin Ortland thing.
Pulse charge, fire! My power grows! Behold the God of Thunder!
Well, I keep getting him to waste his ultimate on me. That's good at least. Yeah. Did James White pop on and tell him that St. Ignatius of Antioch never existed? Our heal situation is somewhat lacking. Why is this? I don't know why this is. We only have one healer, but where is she? I'll hang out with her. Okay, let's go, Manus. I'll hang out with you. We could be chill. That was funny. Squirrel stampede. Uah.
Behold the god of thunder!
Double KO!
I smoked!
I love Thor's dialogue too. So the feedback I'm getting now, when I upload these, the video on demand after the stream, I upload it to YouTube, is I have people saying, "Oh, you need to turn down the game volume," you know, because they're trying to just listen to me doing the Q&A stuff. They don't want to actually hear the game, like they're not watching, they just want to listen and not hear the game, you know, because they don't care about the video game. And to them I say, no, no sir or madam, this is a video game stream.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Well, at least a Thor got MVP, even if it wasn't me. Express Thor solidarity. Yeah, that skin just came out, that sort of robot metal skin. There was a Captain America skin like that back in Season 0. There's new Star Wars stuff? I don't even know what you're talking about. No, I mean, I like everybody else liked the first couple seasons of Mandalorian and the first couple, and I liked Andor because I liked Rogue Squadron.
Help get that vehicle to its
But
destination.
I was never into Clone Wars. Missed me in terms of age group. See, I was one of those people who was already a bitter Gen X, like 20-something, by the time the prequel series came out. And so, not so much a fan of the prequel series. But then the sequel series came out and made the prequel series look much better. I did not read the Archangel comics in the 90s, but I was privy to its predecessor. Its predecessor, in terms of Christian comics, the Christian comics alternative, right, was Spire Comics in the 80s. So I had kind of aged out of Archangel comics by that point. But Spire Comics, here's what was fascinating about them. In addition to publishing their own sort of stuff, Spire Comics had a license with Archie Comics. So they made Christian comics with the Archie characters in them. Who like had these like very Christian adventures, very evangelical adventures that were never referred to in the other Archie comics. Like there was no religion in the standard, you know, comics. Riverdale wasn't about, you know, Betty and Veronica, you know, getting purity rings or something. But in these comics, they were all Christians, like everybody. Like Jughead, everybody, they were all Christians. And
Judge,
it was kind of amazing.
Executioner!
Down to 30 seconds.
Well, the difference with Wolverine, yeah, Wolverine being Catholic, yes. That is weird. That is kind of inexplicable. Nightcrawler, of course, is definitely Catholic. In the comics, he's a priest. He's an ordained priest. They don't make a lot out of that anymore in the comics with the Nightcrawler character, but if you know Roman Catholic doctrine, once you're ordained as a priest, you are forever a priest, no matter what. So Nightcrawler is still a priest. But he actually had a costume at one point. He was in Uncanny X-Men during the Grant Morrison era on New X-Men, and his costume actually had a Roman collar like built into it at that time. That's how Catholic and how priest he was during that run. So the one ironic thing about that is that previous to that, he had been something of a womanizer in the comics. So it was a little bit weird that now he's, you know, a Catholic priest in particular.
Welcome home. Everybody needs a hand sometimes. Or a desk.
Tandy needs help.
But even better than that is the fact that, and I had to prove this, because I didn't believe that I had to prove this to some of my parishioners last Sunday, but there is a beast from one of the Marvel, get ready for this, subtly unicorn, Hank McCoy the Beast from one of the Marvel alternate timelines is the Orthodox Patriarch of the Mutant Homeland. He is Patriarch Beast. You can look this up. Real character. So normally Hank McCoy, man of science. In this alternate timeline, man of faith.
Sorcery is no match for a good hammer.
So yes, Patriarch Beast. You can look him up. Mutant Homeland has autocephaly in that universe. Before America. X-person is what you are now because I took you out.
Honestly?
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Careful not to get
So close. This is your big chance.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know who's publicly traded. Like Ancient Faith and stuff aren't publicly traded. I know companies owned by Orthodox people, but I don't know any that are publicly. I mean, I imagine there's tons of them in Russia and Greece, right, and like Eastern Europe. But I don't know of any off the top of my head. I am not a stock market guy. I am an in debt to the Department of Education guy. Okay, this is gonna be the last game for tonight, so you know what that means. First character whose name I see. That's the character I play this game.
You'll need a
I assume that's
top-notch
Captain
team to win
America.
this one.
Freedom's an idea that will never die.
Because there aren't any other captains in this game yet. Captain Marvel is going to end up being in this game in some form. At some point, I'm sure, for example. Yeah, this particular skin, there isn't a good Captain America skin. I'm really hoping that when Thunderbolts comes out, what I really like is a U.S. agent skin. And that'd be easy to do. It's just like a black recolor, really.
Stand up for what's right. Who will?
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
You're looking...
Don't you? No, hey, don't you say it.
right out of bushy tail.
Yeah, so if they just had Captain America's classic costume, I'd take that too. Funny story, I got invited to speak to the global, literally the global leadership from all over the world to focus on the family a couple of years ago. And did, and we'll never be invited back. But that's probably too long a story here.
That vehicle to its destination.
I was hoping for Madison Square Garden, but
And it is definitely Father Andrew who is the James Dobson of Ancient Faith. It's in terms of PSA, the Lutherans. So, Lutherans are hard to nail down on a lot of this stuff. And they also feel free to take, like, things from column A, things from column B, right? So, I think my thought is, I think Lutheranism is mostly in the satisfaction camp, a la Anselm, and the Roman Catholics, which is not the same as penal substitution, even though a lot of people don't understand that. We talked about that on the Lord of Spirits episode. But, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some mode of penal substitution among some Lutherans that go farther in that regard. And, of course, they don't have to work it out, right? Like, I'm sure they would work it out, for example, the atonement part of it would be based on their view of predestination, which is they believe in predestination but not reprobation. So God picks who's going to be saved but not who isn't. How that works, I don't know. You'd think he'd be at least passively picking who isn't just by picking who is and not picking some people, right? So, but that's the kind of thing Lutherans are happy to do. So, they also do a lot of ad hoc theological stuff Lutherans do. For example, they believe in baptismal regeneration. They also believe you're saved by faith alone. So they say, oh, well, it's your faith that saves you when you're baptized. And then people say, well, wait a minute, then why do you baptize babies? And the Lutherans are like, well, they have infant faith. They was like, what? Huh? So they just make up this thing, infant faith. Right? Like, to cover that ground. Let me buff everybody. Here, somebody get a buff. Yeah.
You think I'm too old for this?
Oh yeah, the Graham Hancock stuff. Yeah.
Behold the god of thunder!
Yeah. Oh, the Necronomicon, I don't know, is, if my wife is still on, she could give you her review, her brief review in the chat of, the Necronomicon.
If anyone can do this, it's you, Herbie. Tippy-toe spotted bad guys. There they are.
By the eye of Agamotto!
I mean, it helps if you have access to calamari, because, you know, there's a lot of tentacle food in there. My favorite candy is not Bit of Honey. I can tell you that. No. Like my favorite candy bar. Again, this is a spicy take. This is controversial, but I am a fan of the York Peppermint Patty. A lot of people dislike the Peppermint Patty. They say the Peppermint Patty is the smallest, but the smallest of the candy bars. It is not worth the price. But I say nay. I say it is, in fact, the best candy bar. If you're talking about just like bag candy that you get bulk, it's black jelly beans. Again, a spicy take, I know, but licorice flavor is probably in my Dutch genes. I like Arak for the same reason, that anise flavor.
Sorry, soldier.
Nice try, Psylocke. Yeah, I saw that. Apparently the Finns have some kind of licorice as well. Although I've also heard counter-programming that their licorice is a very different beast than ours.
Behold the god of thunder!
So it may involve both licorice and salt, but it's not the same thing. These have actually been some pretty good, hotly contested games tonight for a weekend. I think with the new season coming out soon, people are sort of coming back to it. So we're in the final minutes of the stream, guys. If you have anything you gotta ask, anything burning a hole in your mind. I'm probably gonna stream again on Sunday, so it's not like you'll have to wait that long, but if there is anything, now's your chance.
Be strong together. And so it begins.
Where do you think you're going?
Assemble!
That's it! Don't let anything...
There you go, Squirrel Girl. Have some health. Health for everyone. Bonus health. I give you the gift of bonus health. Oh, why Peter? Okay, so it wasn't just, oh, he's a Gentile, right? Which is how it's sometimes presented, like you can't go to a Gentile's house at all. Which wasn't the case. There were actually very complicated discussions within Judaism about what elements of a Gentile and of Gentile life were unclean, etc., right? But it's the fact that he was a Roman, not just a Gentile, but a Roman. Not just a Roman, but a Roman centurion. Right? So part of the Roman military. And so you have to remember that Roman homes, especially Roman military homes, were places where home family worship took place. So there are literally idols in the house of most Romans, especially a high-ranking Roman. Where a high-ranking Roman who had money, they'd literally be doing sacrifices within the home to pagan gods. And so that made it sort of extra unclean. And the fact that it was probably related to sacrifices and sacrificial meat, I think, is borne out by the nature of the vision that St. Peter has. The nature of the vision that St. Peter has is about eating, right? And it's about eating, not just about going into Cornelius' house, but eating with him, right? And so part of the fact that Cornelius has been made clean is that he doesn't have, he isn't worshiping the pagan gods anymore. But yeah, so I am done streaming. Thank you folks who have been watching. Like I said, I'll probably end up streaming again Sunday night. So